Hello everybody and welcome back to Europa, where I have scouted out a war for us. I think it's about time to do more expansion. Unfortunately, it is going to be down in the south side. Luckily, Jaunpur has had a fair amount of reduction of aggressive expansion, so we've got a little bit of room here. We're gonna have to be reasonably careful, but I've actually scouted two wars. I'm not 100% certain that the first and ideal one is going to play out. So I've got a second war just in case. The first war is against Ajam. Now, this is only a useful war insofar as this war is still there. And we don't have a CB here. That's the core problem. Ajam is allied with Nogai, who is, of course, also our ally. And we want to keep Nogai on our side for the time being. So I would love to declare this war, but we have no CB. We have got a spy network going here, but they're probably going to end their war fairly soon. If we can pull this off, great. Nogai would not currently join this because of occupied and besieged provinces, attitude towards enemies, and war exhaustion. So there is that. We'll see if we can pull this off. If that doesn't work, we've got Kerman. We do not need a CB here. We've already got a CB here. So we have a claim on their province. This is only Luristan and Sind who would be in this. So this is basically free. But we'll have to be a little careful with what we take over. We're not going to really be able to get too much out of Luristan. We'll be able to get some out of Sind, but that's going to create Jaunpur anger. And we're not interested in getting over 50 with Jaunpur. So we'll have to be careful about that. But for now, let's tick forward and let's keep an eye on this situation. We'll check in around the time that this spy network is done here. I think it just ended. Yes, it did. So out of curiosity, yeah, Nogai would now join this. They now have 15 reasons to join it. Okay. So in that case, I think there's no point in even doing this claim for the moment. We have too few rivals right now, and Ajam would be a decent one to target here. Absolutely. So we'll make them be our rival. And for the time being, we're going to need to move some forces. So we're going to head down over to Quetta, and we're going to head down to Kerman, which is, of course, next to Kerman. That's not confusing at all. So we're going to head on down, and we have a royal marriage offer from Nogai. We accept that. Out of curiosity, yeah, 15 reasons still. Okay, so backup war is indeed the plan here. So that's fine. We can now attack these guys with a humiliate rival CB. Hello console. I'm not too interested in a humiliate rival CB. I really want to attack Uzbek, but as long as they're just chilling, that's going to be kind of complicated for us. So we're going to raise up our army maintenance to here. And we're going to drop our rooting out of corruption to, for the time being, here. But it will come up some because we're reinforcing our units. 5.12 extra per month, so we'll be able to continue to root out corruption for a while here, and that is great. There's now 2.4, so we can throw a fair amount more at rooting out corruption. I like it. Okay, Delhi is making claims on us. That's very rude. This changed on us. Okay, so we're going to balance it out around over here. There we go, and now it changes again because we just reinforced. That is to be expected. So I'm not too concerned about that. Maybe we just sit here so that we have some headroom there, and that'll be okay. So gaining a free stability here would actually be really great. I'm going to take that free stability. So that means I'm going to put us at about +1 ducat per month right now. There we go. We definitely need a leader out over here, so we could give our ruler military command. Is our heir better? Arguably, no. And is also only 1 year old. So that's potentially a problem. Let's roll up a general here. And we also do want to make sure that we get our Renaissance as soon as possible, right? Declaring this war will drop our institution spread. So that's not great. But it will continue to spread here. I don't expect this to be that extensive of a war. We'll be able to eliminate Sind relatively quickly, Kerman extremely quickly, and then the question is, how are we going to handle Luristan? Maybe the answer is we don't. So we declare this war. Luristan has 20 reasons to join this. And of course, Sind is very upset with us. But I'm going to declare this right now. I think this is just free at this point. They have no cannon. We have slightly fewer cavalry, but way more infantry. So for now, we're going to call that good. We're going to declare this war. We're going to go in and attack Kerman. And then we're going to go in down over here and attack Kalat. How strong exactly is Sind? 11k, Miltech 7. Okay, I'm not too concerned about that. We're Miltech 8. And we have a significant numerical advantage. We also have a value cannon, so we can siege this down pretty quickly. I'm going to leave behind our value cannon and 3 infantry here. And we're going to go see about taking out the Kerman army down here. Ideally. We don't want peasant revolts right now, and we don't want that cash issue. So we're going to run out of money fairly soon. We need to crank down our rooting out of corruption. I'm actually going to keep this right here. It still goes down because we're incorruptible and in positive stability. So that'll be fine for now. We're going to let these guys just walk on up. Fars has rivaled us. Okay. And we can actually pass through the Timurids, which is great. We can continue to chase these guys down and just pin them down over here. Now, Luristan does have 6,000 troops, so this is potentially dangerous, but we'll allow it for now. They're going to siege here. This is not a good place for them to siege. I just want to throw that out. So we're going to head down over this way. The question is, what are we actually going for in this? Obviously, we do go for Kerman here, right? We take this over, 100%. But how much of Sind do we want to take over here? That's an interesting question, to be sure. We know that their forces are pretty much all up over here, other than Luristan. So I'm going to send these guys out over here, while these guys... we can't actually go past over here because of this fort. Rude. Fine. We'll just hang out here for now. We need this fort to fall. And we do see Luristan heading over here. So I'm going to move these guys back. Yeah, they're going to attack us here. That's very rude of them. Like I said, this was always a risk. It's not the end of the world. We'll retreat here as soon as we can, assuming they don't stack wipe us, and they didn't. So that's good. We're going to move these guys back up over, and we'll move these back in. They're going to our capital. Okay, we got a little greedy there, but it was a calculated risk. We just lost the dice roll there. That's fine. I was hoping that they wouldn't get access through Ajam, but they did. And then they'd have to come around via sea over here, and we'd have more warning. But sadly, that's not how that played out. That's okay. That is okay. We're not too concerned about it. So we're going to sit up here at Samarkand, and now we're going to make our way back down. Phenomenal. And we'll be sieging over here in the meantime. This is reasonably fine. Kerman has their forces over here. They are sieging faster than we are, which is very awkward, considering that we have cannon and they don't. They've just been rolling better than us, I guess. But that's okay. Yeah, awkward rolls here. Eventually, they'll get through here. They're going to be going for our capital, and that is understood. Once we have this unit freed up, which is right now, that's great. I'm going to come down here and eliminate these guys. Then we're going to need to have these guys chill here. So we know that Luristan's forces are up here. We should be able to head up with that force and deal with this. Beautiful. Now we can come down and start up a siege over here at Sind. And yes, they're occupying a lot of territory up over here. This is expected, and we're sending forces up here to help deal with this. So this is no problem at the moment, assuming that they don't have a surprise force over here, but they absolutely cannot have a surprise force there. So we're going to fight Luristan up here. Hopefully by the time they retreat and come back over here, hopefully this siege is over. That's the goal. We'll see how that goes. So we're going to stop their siege here, eliminate this force. I don't think we're going to stack wipe it. No, they retreat. We're going to take back this territory, and we're going to head down over here. Phenomenal. So I want to just double check our institution spread. Yeah, it's 10%. Okay, noted. So that's fine. It's not ideal, but it's okay. And we are seeing them heading back down this way because Sind is noticing, hey, we've got a problem. And actually, I'm not going to get greedy over here. We're just going to walk this way. The Ottomans had the Mamluk Sultanate fall. Okay. So the Ottomans are now Egypt, or rather the Mamluks are now Egypt. Okay, noted. So we're going to walk over this direction. These guys are still sieging this last fort here. We'll be able to siege our way up through this very, very quickly once that gets done. Once this siege ends. Okay, England accepted knowledge sharing from Austria. We could call in Hormuz. I really don't care to. I don't think it's necessary. So Delhi was building a spy network. No shockers there. And we're going to finish up this siege. It needs to end soon, right? It really needs to end soon. Anytime now, siege. We also had our leader die. That is deeply unfortunate. So that loses us a fair amount, actually. Noted. We're rolling poorly on these sieges, but there we go. We finally get that siege done. So now we can make our way back up over here. Gain 39.07 ducats. We have to do it, actually. We're pretty negative financially right now, and that is going to be necessary. So if they're going to Kandahar, that's fine. We will fight them there. We'd love to see the Sind capital fall here. That would be ideal. The question is, when is that going to happen? Hi, Ottomans. They're chilling in our territory, I guess. I don't think we gave them access. They must have access through Luristan, who, of course, we're at war with. Intriguing. So we're going to head up this direction. We're at 10% war score right now. Ticking is on our side. And we need this siege to wrap up. And we're working on taking back this territory, right? So this needs to get under control. We need to free up this force and get all of Sind under our territory, or rather under our control. The question is Luristan interested in a white peace? They are not. Okay, that is noted. Okay, they have some peasants up over here. Eventually this siege will end. And there it goes, actually. So that's perfect. We need to go eliminate these peasants. We're going to hop up over here. And I'm going to split off an infantry unit, and then the rest of these forces are going to go up. Perfect. Sind is offering us peace. We don't actually accept that yet. We want peace on very specific terms. Terms which have not yet been achieved. Or, indeed, even determined. We have not yet determined what those terms are. Okay, they've got additional separatists up over here. We'll go eliminate those. And we're just continuing to cap these areas. Kerman wants peace. No shockers there. Okay, where are they going? They're going to Karor, right here. Noted. They shouldn't do this. This is not good for them. We have a new regent. Okay. Moving towards mysticism. Ugh. Okay. And we lose a stability there, too. That is very unfortunate. Okay, we're going to head up this direction and look to catch this force, or at least take back this territory. So we have these guys capping down over here. Losing 2 stability there is extraordinarily painful. That is bad luck. No doubt about that. We're going to go up and finish up our occupation of Sind. And eventually we'll cap back this fort here. But we're not quite there yet. Yeah, they know that this is not going well for them. Losing 15 legitimacy or losing 50 admin power, we're going to lose the legitimacy here. Our legitimacy is not great. Don't get me wrong. But that is the choice that we're going to make here. We don't want to lose admin power at this moment. So that's reasonably fine. But we've definitely had some awkwardness ensuing here. And this is because our war exhaustion is currently high. Noted. That is because of all of this occupation, though. Okay. So we can't make our way around this way, so we're going to have to go around over here. We'll group these guys up over here. Looks good. And at this point, we could separate piece out Sind. Now, this is all occupied by Kerman up over here. So that is noted. I think for the moment, we're not going to do that. We're going to get these guys grouped together. We're actually making money now, which is a very good sign. Are they looking to take back Kerman over here? If they are, we'll deal with that. And then there's a revolt out over here. Rude. And this siege needs to end. Obviously, we need more cannon. There's no doubt about that. And I would like to head up to Toon. Do we actually catch them there? We do. So that's their single unit of elephants there. Eventually, this siege will end. But we're not there yet. 28%. So let's see how that ends up going. Yeah, there's a lot of angry rebels right now. This is not shocking. 49% now? Okay. Well, it's certainly not ideal. We'll start taking back some of this territory, though, getting this back under our control. Any moment now, we will finish up this siege. Is it now? It is. Good. So we're going to head on in over here, and that should mean that our fort is auto-capping all of these. So that's beautiful. We don't have to worry about capping those back, including this one. So we're just going to push on through. Phenomenal. Okay, so we're now at 70% war score. No guy wants a royal marriage. We accept this. We want that yearly legitimacy going up. So that's absolutely great. Punjabi separatists out over here. No problem. We'll deal with those immediately. I'm going to send a couple of units out to get those taken care of. And we may as well do the same thing over here, honestly. So let's get all of this taken back and let's end this war. Perfect. So this will be fine. No problem whatsoever here. The question is just how much of this can we actually take? And the answer to that is, I don't know yet. We'll find out. Can we separate piece Luristan right now? Hard maybe on that one. Okay, let's take a look here. Luristan would accept a white piece. So we absolutely white piece Luristan here. We have no interest in any of their territory right now. So we're going to do that. Now, as far as the rest of these go, we're obviously going to take Kerman. And that gives us a coalition with Timurids and Baluchistan. We don't care about them. They are completely irrelevant. I want to be separate piecing Sind right now. And the question is, how much can we get away with here without Jaunpur joining? That's the question. So Jaunpur would be at... I want to check in here. So this is the furthest that we can actually go. Like, this is the most we can get. We can get a tiny amount of gold as well. And Jaunpur would not join this. So this looks solid right here. We already know that these guys aren't willing to join a coalition against us. So we'll take this. Sounds good. Excellent. That'll be fine. And of course, we'll need to start coring this because we've got some overextension here. So we'll start working on that. Our corruption is currently growing, which is unsurprising. And we are going to need to tick a few days forward here. We have no diplomats to send to Kerman. So now we can grab this and any gold that they have, which is only 10. Okay, so that's absolutely fine. Jaunpur would not join a coalition against us. Looks perfect. So there's Kerman under our control, as well as a bunch of territory down over here. I feel like we don't need both of these forts. I'm going to get rid of this one. We're also going to mothball these forts for the moment. There we go. And we can, of course, start coring Rafsanjan. Sure, we'll go with that. I don't think I got that correct. I'm going to boost us back up to +1 stability. Our war exhaustion is currently high, and this will be very, very useful for us. Indeed, helping with our corruption as well. Unfortunately, we're no longer incorruptible, so there is that. And do we have anything in here? National unrest -2 or national tax modifier +10%. This guy would very, very nearly pay for himself. So he would get 1.28. So we would be paying 0.19 for a monthly admin's point. That would be great. I would really love this. I would really like to get this yearly inflation reduction guy. He's way too expensive. So we're going to go for this guy for right now. Do we want to go for another advisor here? Tip tech is really not very important. So I think we're going to say no on that one for right now. How close are we to getting our admin over here? Yeah, it's a ways away still. Although this is present here. So we're currently at 7.8%. We get one more location. and Renaissance will be ours. Once we get the money, anyway. We can seize land from estates, and the merchants are super angry, so that's not going to be happening anytime soon. Now, our corruption is, of course, a problem. I'm going to drop our army maintenance down to here, and we're going to put our rooting out of corruption right here. Phenomenal. So that'll do for right now, and we're going to get these guys grouped back together. Wonderful. Okay, so let's see about boosting up the opinion of the Merchants Guilds. That's going to need to happen. So, what are they proposing? Base production, at least 5. Honestly, I think we can do that. So that'll be okay. That is up over here. That means that we need to spend about 120 diplomatic power, and we just get that done right there. And they gain 10 loyalty out of it, and we gain a bunch of ducats. The ducats, of course, allows us to invest in a workshop, 0.1, or a mosque, 0.09. So technically, this workshop is the one to invest in. Cool. So that'll be absolutely fine for the moment. The Ottomans are wanting military access. I'm going to allow that for the time being. Yeah, for the time being. We do see they've increased their soldier count to 128k, so the Ottomans are spooky, and we don't really want to make an enemy out of the Ottomans as of right now. So we've successfully expanded out over this direction. We, of course, need to chill a bit. We've got a lot of unrest at the moment. We're continuing to drop our corruption, and we're about to hit Miltech 9. The question is, do we think we can get Renaissance before then? We're actually at 83% in Khiva. It's spreading very quickly in Khiva. Interesting. We may want to adopt Renaissance first. So how much is that ultimately going to cost? We don't know, but it's going to be expensive. We may want to take out loans. Do we want to grab this Miltech? It can be significantly reduced in cost. We're not going to be going to war for a bit. We can hold it in reserve. If we get declared on, we can always grab the Miltech. Otherwise, I'm going to wait for Renaissance. We're really, really close here. 85.93 over here. So we basically just need Khiva, and that'll be good. We're having a trade collapse, and we'll take the trade efficiency hit. It is going to be a bit painful on our resources here, but we're actually doing kind of okay on resources for right now. So we can do something kind of like this. We'll not meddle in the affairs. That'll be okay. So we'll sit about here for now on our rooting out of corruption. Minus 0.59 isn't ideal, but it'll do. I want to take a look. 42 out of 45. Okay, good. We can convert provinces over to Sunni if we want. Unfortunately, we're currently heading towards mysticism. That said, we can adopt the title of Khalifa, which we'll do. We can impose a religious tax, which is actually something we want to do as well. And we could enforce religious unity if we wanted to, but I think this is a bad idea. I don't want to do that right now. That puts us at minus 37. Oh, okay. That moves us in whatever direction we're going. I see. Interesting. Well, this direction is actually kind of okay. Our corruption's a lot lower than it has been in the past, so I think it's reasonably fine. It's not perfect, but it's reasonably fine. Jampur is offering us an alliance. I accept. Jampur is strong enough to perhaps, if they're interested, allow us to fight Uzbek, which we would be very interested in doing. Nogai coming in makes this nearly even if we were able to bring in Jampur, but they don't owe us favors right now. We'll have to let those tick up. For the time being, that's reasonably fine. I don't mind that so much. We're doing kind of okay on that front. They want a royal marriage, and we'll definitely accept that for the legitimacy change. Khorasani separatists out over here, which is reasonably expected. For the time being, we're going to bump up our army maintenance while we deal with it, and bump down our rooting out of corruption. Unfortunately, we need our rooting out of corruption to be at least here, but we're going to actually be able to run it here, which is not bad. That's not bad at all. So down we go. We get 1 month tick there. When are we going to arrive? 20 March? Let's actually let this wait until after the month tick. There we go. So in we go. We'll get another morale bump there, and that basically guarantees our victory here. Phenomenal. I don't think we would have won that without the second month tick. So there is that. Of course, we're reinforcing our troops now, so we're losing money. We should probably crank our army maintenance back down. There we go. And we can put our rooting out of corruption right about here. Perfect. Now, we could construct province improvements. I don't think we want to right now. Reason being, we're so close to getting Renaissance here. 94.57% in Kiva. So that is definitely awkward timing for peasants to spawn in our capital there. Okay. Well, I guess that's a thing that's happening now. Sure. Let's park our rooting out of corruption about here for now. We're going to need to fight out over here too, but we never had a chance here. Luckily, we didn't get stack wiped. And they're not going to get that sieged. The Age of Reformation has begun. Okay. That's fine. Now, one thing to note is that because of the Age of Reformation, we need to lower our war taxes, which is going to hurt our balance quite a lot. Quite a lot indeed. So we're going to bring these guys back on up. And now we're going to go in and... Actually, I'm not going to attack these guys yet. This is in mountains. They have similar numbers as us. So we're going to let this go for one more month tick. Okay. Now this up over here, this is peasants. I'm going to let this go for an additional month tick beyond because we lost this battle here. The mountains here are painful. However, we did get a pretty good shock phase there. Unfortunately, we did lose that. Okay, so we're going to attack up over here. We're probably going to need to swap these positions. This is very rude of these guys. But there we go. We're going to head on down. We have the fort down here so we don't get separatism. That's great. The question is, how much is this going to cost for Renaissance? 98.99% right now. These guys can just go to Samarkand and begin recovering. And now we're going to attack here. There we go. No problem. Phenomenal. And we'll get this back. Although our fort, well, our fort is mothballed. We did get the separatism, didn't we? Because the fort's mothballed. I should have unmothballed that. Nope. It's only negative 0.5 separatism. Okay, cool. So that's absolutely fine then. No problem at all. So we're going to position ourselves right here. We can now turn our army maintenance back down to this point. We can be almost maximally rooting out corruption around here. Looks good. We can also sell titles and... Okay, we've got another rebellion here. Yeah, we've got a bunch of these brewing up. I'm not shocked about that. We need to get this overextension dealt with, although that's close. And we can just pop right on down here. That's not a big deal. So once again, we can drop off our rooting out of corruption here and have that be about right here. And I guess we'll need to deal with rebels for a little bit here. Not the end of the world. So when are we going to arrive here? 5 May? Let's let this go. And yeah, they're going to finish this and gain separatism. But let's let this go until 1 June. There we go. Phenomenal. I think we didn't get that reinforced tick. It didn't matter, though. We won that. Barely. We should have waited until 2 June, clearly. But this is fine. So now we're going to head on up over this direction. There we go. We've got more rebels thinking about brewing up here, but I want to take a quick look. 1,000? Okay. How much will we gain from selling titles? 388. I'm going to do it. And then we can immediately seize land back. So we don't take the bad effect from the Crownland. That's good. Then we are going to actually... Do we want to debase? No, I think we want to take a loan here. We're going to take 2 loans, putting us at 1061. And that allows us to embrace Renaissance. Boom. Now we're at our cap for our military power, and we were at 1290 previously. we can immediately spend this. We were actually at the perfect amount of military power, unless I looked at that incorrectly, which is a possibility. We're going to grab our admin tech as well. There we go. And that's absolutely great. So at this point, we can grab our Shamshir infantry, which we will definitely do. And we'll start regenerating those forces a bit. We've got more rebel uprisings brewing up, but we need to work on our internals. And that is exactly what we are going to do in the next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.